Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to a new Jump Force video. Today for you, I got the Gone guide requested by a few people, actually quite a bit of people. So let's go ahead and get right into it. It shouldn't take long to go over a lot of his stuff. He doesn't have a lot, and then I think we can actually show some matches. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Kicking it off with Gone's first ability, John can now rock, paper, and scissors do land after the third light, so go ahead and use any of them. After the second heavy, rock, paper, and scissors should all land. Now, it is a little tricky. It's probably due to connection or delay. Sometimes they can fast get up out of it. Sometimes you'll whiff it. So be careful when doing it on the second heavy. Now, the next and only one it can actually connect with is the charged up tilt, where you can, once you land the charged up tilt, use it. Hop up once, you can land scissors, or if you just don't want to hop up, or you can't hop up again, you can land paper. Now guys, obviously his second ability, Fortify, and his third ability, Temper, are not abilities that you land on opponents. However, instead of just using them out in the open, I'd recommend always just going for combos that push them away, going to use it, and then you can still provide pressure. So if I wanted to do the 5 lights, I could use Temper, rush up, and now he has to, guess what I'm going to do. Also, you can use it on the 3 heavies. Push them away, dash up, put on pressure. And if you really wanted to, down tilt. It doesn't provide much, you're safe, but you also can't provide pressure right there. Same with the up tilt. Now, Gone's ultimate Resolute Fist does connect with every single light string, heavy string, down tilt, and the first and second up tilt. Remember, the only thing it does not connect with is the third up tilt, which is actually pretty good. I was getting a little excited when doing this. I was hoping that he could connect his ultimate with everything, but it's not that time. Still haven't found a character that can do that. Alright guys, already at that time to get into the basic stuff of his ability. So the basic stuff of his John Ken, clearly you can hop around sideways, backwards, forward. The thing to know is when you're hopping, you can get hit and you'll get shoved out of your form here. But if you're standing still, you actually do have a little bit of hyper armor that you can use to your advantage. So if I want to try and bait them when I'm hopping and I step right here and he's hitting me, it won't. I can take up to maybe like 5 lights, I think I figured that out with Save Yourself. Also, if you don't hold it, it will go eventually. However, if you just keep hopping, you'll hold it forever. But the moment I stop, it'll just go by its own. Boom. Also, you are able to guard out of this, so if your opponent is trying to use an ability and you use this pretty far away, I don't know why you would use this pretty far away, but let's say you do, and they're going to hit you with an ability, go ahead and guard it because the hyper armor will not protect through any abilities. Alright, Gone's Fortify. Now, I actually have not been able to figure out what the stance performance does. It doesn't feel like it does anything, but it does cost 1 bar, and you get a defensive buff for it. So the defensive buff is actually really good, especially since it costs 1 bar. So anytime that I only have like 2 or 1 bar, I'll try and throw them away, and I'll use the defensive buff, especially if I'm ahead, I'll actually use the defensive buff. If I'm behind, I'll probably go ahead and use the attack buff, which is Temper. But we're talking about Fortify here. So it does clearly state in the abilities list what Temper does, and it says prevents Gone's John Ken from being slowed by an enemy's attack. Now, I still don't understand what this is. I tested it out with Savior. It didn't feel like it was slow at any point. It didn't feel like it when I was using it. Maybe when they attacked me, it slowed down. It just doesn't make sense because I don't feel any difference, I thought it might be extra hyper armor, but no, you get hyper armor in Temper or in just the basic stance. So if anyone please understands this, please put it in the comments. I'm very sorry. This is the one thing I could not figure out about Gone. Just because I don't feel any different when using the buff and his John Ken at the same time. There's just, to me, there's no difference. Hopefully, maybe because I use it a lot, there's no difference, but I have not been able to figure it out. So if you're a Gone main, probably the one person out there on Jump Force, go ahead and type in the comments and tell everyone what that actually does. Alright guys, moving on over to Gone's Temper, which is my favorite buff for him, although I do like the defensive buff a lot. Temper pretty much is an ability power, so you'll get a lot of damage from your rock, paper, and scissors. Also, you are able to use 2 when you are in this buff. So you can use scissor, rock, scissor, 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 paper, paper, rock. You know, you get the idea. You can do pretty much whatever you want as long as you're holding R2 after you use the first one. So if I want to walk up and I'm doing 3 lights and I have the rem buff activated, I can do scissor, scissor. But please be careful, since Gon's nerfed, he will white out again after the 3rd light, because you used to be able to do 3 lights, scissor, scissor, 3 lights, scissor, rock. That used to be the meta with Gon. However, now you have to do something like where you go boom, 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 scissor, scissor, assist, and then scissor, rock, right? That's pretty much what you have to do now. And of course, if you don't know this, when using Gon's ult, it is not a huge distance, but it's good enough for a grab ult, so if you want to grab ult, go ahead. Also though, if you are raw ulting as Gon, I do not recommend unless they're in kill range, only because most of you should know, I think 98% of you should know, when you use Gon's ultimate, he is out for the round. And by round, I mean until one of you kills each other for that round. Not the game, not the match, you know, it's just that one round. So you can switch to, like, let's say I want to switch to Yusuke, and if Yusuke dies, then I have Gon right here in the backup, and the round ended, and I can play Gon again, right? So only use this ult if you don't want to play, if you can play your assist and your other characters. If you can't, I recommend waiting for kill range when you use his ultimate. His stage transitions only work on the 3rd and 4th light. That's all he has. He only has 5 light strings, so 3 and 4 are your go-to. For Gon's grab string, I recommend the 2nd light. However, you can do it on the 3rd and 4th light too. I think the 2nd one is the fastest. 3rd is just a little bit slower, and 4th is just a little bit slower than the 3rd light, right? So they just consecutively go down. So 2nd is your go-to, and you know. Alright guys, now it's time to get into some advanced stuff with Gon. Now there's not a lot because he is a pretty basic character, but they're still pretty fun, and it requires, I guess I should just warn you, playing Gon requires a lot of patience and pretty much a lot of reading your opponent, so let's get right into it. Alright, for Gon's mix-ups, now he does not have a lot. His Vanish String is pretty slow on some of his lights, so on his 3rd light it's pretty slow, on his 4th light it's very slow. The only time I want you to vanish is on the 2nd light and the 1st heavy. If I try, hold up, let me see how fast is the 2nd heavy. And it's slower than what we want. 3rd heavy, very slow, but at least you can still do it. So if we're gonna mix up on our opponent, it's gonna look something like this, where I do 2 lights, vanish behind them or something, and grab him, or 2 lights, vanish, do 2 other lights, 1 heavy, dash, and grab. So Gon does have a Vanish Dash Grab, which is, if you don't know what it is, I'll keep explaining it until it catches on, where you Vanish, Dash, and you can grab right away. And someone did point out in my comments, I'm going to actually go look for them and probably put their name in the video here, that if you do the Vanish Dash and you guard right when you hit them with the dash, you can grab with any character. Very good to know. I actually did not try that. I should have. I knew about the grab or the guard tech for a while, but thank you to him. I remember, I'll find your name later. So if for any other character, if you're doing the dash, just guard after you hit him and then grab. But Gon, we don't need to do that extra step, so it's kind of nice. We can just spam grab right when we dash at him. So like I said, that's basically where you want to go. If you don't grab right here, I want you to do 2 more lights, and then you can do a heavy and then dash. Or of course you don't have to do the lights, you can just do 1 light and then into a heavy. Or you can go boom boom, straight into the heavy. But I feel like it gives them a little time to kind of calm down and think. Other things you can do, clearly you can do 2 lights, back up, dash, and you can hold the dash, or you can grab after. And what I mean by hold the dash is, is just, you know, guard break them. Remember, you can do this anytime, so if I just want to provide constant pressure until he chokes, I can just keep going here. Boom, boom, dash, 2 lights, vanish, more lights, boom. Boom, boom, 2 lights, heavy, vanish, dash, right? I can just keep doing this. And if he backsteps one of them, I can call on my assist, which we'll get to later, but yeah, that's pretty much the open mix-up you want to go. I don't recommend trying to just, like, throw in a John Ken in there, because they can just double backstep and they're already out of it. So just keep to the lights and heavies and vanishing, and look for the either dash guard break or the dash grab, or just the double light normal grab. Alright guys, jumping into his Vanish String. It is not that great, so if I do 3 heavies here, and I vanish and I dash, it will not connect. I've connected it once, and I'm pretty sure that's because it was like a special thing, like he hit a wall, and I was able to connect him. So it might sometimes look like it's about to connect, but it will not. Gon's 3rd heavy just pushes him too far and too high, and it misses. So we're actually going to go into 2 heavies, and we're going to dash. Now, it is a potential kind of reset, so if we want to, we can dash and then grab, which is probably what I want you to do. But if we wanted to, we can dash and we can go into a guard break of some sorts. I would recommend the down tilt, but if you want to, you can go into the up tilt. Oh, that was just, man, I just booked it somewhere else. Up tilt over here, but it's kind of slow. They have a lot of time to react. So what I'd recommend doing, even if you don't get it, is half charge down tilt, go into your 2nd down tilt, and then go into whatever combo you want. When doing this though, I'll explain it later. If I start with the 2 down tilts here, I cannot do 3 heavies into rock. I can do it into paper or scissors, but you cannot land a rock, and I'll explain later how to land stuff. But this is the Vanish String, so again, grab or guard break. Guys, just a quick little thing. I get comments saying, well, why don't you Vanish String on the lights if they don't work on the heavies, or why don't you show us the strings on this light? Guys, I show you the best possible ways to use the Vanish String. So if I don't show you a light or heavy string, it's because it doesn't work. So if I'm not going to show you this one heavy thing, right? Yeah, it works, but they can guard, they can do whatever they want, right? Because they're just sitting in there. If I try and do it on 2 lights, right? Same thing. If I do it on 1 light, definitely same thing. Now, I can't do it on 3 lights, but 3 lights is your time to John Ken. And if you don't John Ken, I don't want to be your friend. If you waste an opportunity like this, please don't, right? You can't do it on the 4th light, and you can't do it on the 5th light. 5th light goes ahead and just dashes you up there if I try and do it. So, remember guys, I show you the best possible one, so please don't comment down below why I didn't do this, or if you're angry because I didn't do it. I try and show you the best stuff, so please keep that in mind. Alright guys, if we are just trying to mix them up by Gon ourselves, not using any vanishes or anything like that, or assists, the thing I'd recommend doing is, you can stop at any light or any heavy, obviously not the 3rd heavy, but I'd go into a half charge down tilt. So what this does is it stops any option of grabbing you, backstepping, or sidestepping. It will catch them if you do it like at that speed, half charge it. The only thing that counters this is clearly blocking it, right? So if they do get hit by this, you need to do 1 more down tilt, and then you can reset. Like I said earlier, you can reset into a combo, and I'll just explain it right now. So let's say they get hit with the half charge down tilt, do another down tilt, 1, 2, 3. I want you to fully charge up tilt, walk up, and then do your John Ken scissors, right? I just hit him right there because I just wanted to see something. But 2 down tilts, 1, 2, 3, boom, and you can paper, you can scissor. If you really want to, you can paper. It kind of resets them. And I'll explain it later because it's kind of, these things are mixing into each other. But that's what you kind of want to go for. If you're mixing them up, you want a half charge down tilt, and then if you do land the down tilt, go into a combo right here. Alright guys, I'm going to show you some mix-ups with your assist, which is something I did not do in the past, but with Gon is kind of necessary. I'm going to use Toguro here because, in my opinion, again, best for Gon. Feel free to use anyone else. However, so if I'm going for a mix-up here, you would think you can call in Toguro after the heavy. So, what we're basically going to try and do is force him to sidestep or backstep. So what I would do is 4 lights into 2 heavies, into a charged up tilt or down tilt. And what they should do is give them enough time to sidestep or backstep. Now, the only thing that can counter this is if they're grabbing. So if I'm doing this and they grab me before I actually get the full guard break off, then we'll get grabbed, right? However, if they choose to sidestep or backstep when we do this, let it go through, we'll call Toguro out, Toguro will catch him, and we should be able to get in a nice combo here. So that's one possible way to do it. Of course, if you want to do this, dash and call Toguro. So what I mean by this is when you do this, some people like to sidestep, right? Some people will sidestep that and you'll go really far behind them. However, when they sidestep, we'll call in Toguro kind of as we're about to hit them, and Toguro will catch them, and we should recover fast enough to be able to dash and do a couple lights and combos against them. Alright guys, it is time to get into some of the combos, and I did get a request to split the combos up into solo and assist combos, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm also going to split it up into combos without temper, because temper you can use 2 of your John Ken. So I'm just going to go quickly over some stuff you can do without temper and assist. Okay guys, the basic Gong combo we are always going to try and get off is 3 lights into rock, right? Basically when we're playing Gong, our main objective is to get off rock because it's the main source of his damage. So yeah, look, I can do this full combo here and it doesn't even do as much as rock, right? So again, just get rock off. So 2 ways to do this. Of course, do 3 lights into rock, but another way to actually land rock. So I guess I should say last, when Gon was in his prime, you were able to do scissor and then 3 lights again into rock, right? We can't do that now, but if we don't use scissor, we can. If we use paper, we can. So let's say 3 lights, paper, 3 more lights into rock. Now, if you notice, it was a reset. When we use paper on someone after 3 lights, they just stand right back up, right? They're just kind of right here. They have a chance to guard my lights. They have a chance to do whatever, right? But most people don't know that, and of course, if they don't know that, we can abuse that, do 3 more lights, and do rock. Of course, this is also kind of like the Aizen reset with Toguro. If we want to go like, boom, paper, Toguro, boom, but we're going to talk about that later with the assist count. So that's what we're going to go for, paper into rock, or just 3 lights into rock. Okay, guys, throwing Ren in the mix of this, temper. If we want to do 3 lights, we can actually get confirmed damage off the paper rock. So all you have to do is use paper, hop up, and then use rock, right? As you can see, it's confirmed damage. But of course, if we really wanted to, we can just do the reset. So use paper, hop up, wait a second, then use rock, right? We get the full damage from rock, and we can use an assist, but I'll go over that later. If we really wanted to, we can also use double paper for a double reset. So look at it. We use paper, 3 lights, paper, walk, hop up, wait a second, get another reset, right? And if they guard, even if they guard after the paper reset, rock still goes through because it's just a monster of an ability. So if they don't sidestep or backstep, rock's still gonna hit them if they are choosing to guard. Other things you can do, of course, you can do double scissors after this. However, again, the only time to do double scissors is when you're trying to land ult after it. So if you didn't know, guys, when you use double scissors, you can land ult after it. This is pretty much to end your combo when you're not near a wall. If you're near a wall, you use rock, you can land ult after it, but we'll go over that later when we go to the huge combos here. But of course, you can just do the basic scissor and rock if you wanted to. Boom. Does the same amount of damage as paper and scissors. But guys, I'm actually steering towards more using paper for the reset here. In my opinion, scissors was kind of nerfed, and the only time to use scissors is when you want to land the ult. So definitely go for these paper resets, and I'll show you how to do it more. I'm probably going to show some gameplay at the end of this guide because it's going to be kind of short, but that's what we're going to go for, guys. It's what I would urge you to go for, are the paper resets or the paper confirmed. Now, I did say that you can land these abilities after the second heavy. However, with the paper reset, you can catch people off guard with this if you really wanted to. Most people don't escape after the second heavy. However, if we try and do the paper reset, it will not work. As you can see, 3 lights just whiff. If we do scissors, sure, it's nice. But sometimes it whiffs like that. See, it's just, I don't know what the criteria is. It's just kind of connection based, and how fast you hop, and how fast you hop can change. I don't know. So my recommendation is not going for the 2 heavies into John Ken. More so, I'd rather have you do the Vanish String on them. So just a quick tip before I move on to the assist combos, because I don't want you guys to think you can do everything same with the 2 heavies. Alright guys, now we're going to get into some assist combos here. Now the basic one we're going to go for is the 3 lights into rock, calling in Toguro after the cutscene, walk up. You kind of want to time this and rock, right? So you can dash up all the way. Sometimes what happens is, I'll try and pull it up right here, is your opponent will actually get stuck under your model. So right here, I guess Toguro got in front of me, right? So I couldn't land rock. Sometimes they'll land on top of your head, so you have to wait a second and have them fall down. So pretty much you just need to practice your timing of when you can do this. It's really not that hard. You shouldn't be missing a lot of these. As you can see right there, I stopped a little before and I just hopped up and hit him. Great damage. Now if you're thinking you can do the paper reset with this, unfortunately you are wrong. He will white out as Toguro hits him right here, so Toguro's gonna catch him. And I'll try and land rock. See as he got caught above me, but he whites out regardless when he gets hit by Toguro coming down on the floor. So that's unfortunate, too many hits, so we can't necessarily do that. But that's basically what we're going to go for is rock, Toguro, and I guess if you really wanted to, you can see how he got stuck on me, you can land scissors and then try and go into another combo, but again, he whites out, so be very careful about that. Now with Ren is his big damage. This is where we're gonna use either paper or rock. After we land rock, Toguro, we're gonna run up. Scissor. I use scissor because scissor covers way more area. That's when I like to use scissor. And then I use rock right after, right? Good 65% right there from just, you know, no awakening, just using technically 4 bars if I use Ren, right? And then just using 2 bars after. Very good damage, very easy damage. And now I'll try and throw in some paper resets. Alright guys, now with the paper reset, it actually doesn't do too much more damage. I'd probably say it's around, you know, 3% more, so 68%. As you can see, it does still do a little more damage, but guys, remember, paper doesn't do a lot of damage, even with just the, you know, with the red buff activated. Not that much, right? Also, I don't think I even explained how to do it, so instead of doing we're just gonna do the other resets where you hop up, wait a second, and then use rock, right? Same kind of deal. Of course, if we wanted to, we can do the 3 lights into the double paper, into the 3 lights, into the paper, wait a second, reset. Toguro catches him. Paper, although our boy does white out again, and look where we're at, 65%. So no matter what route you take, he does the same amount of damage. Now, if we want to be super risky, and I don't think this will ever happen, but go ahead, do 2 papers, wait longer, do 3 lights, go for the other, wait a second, reset. He will not white out here. Boom, boom. 90% right there. So if you didn't understand what I just did right there, I waited longer than you need to after the double paper, right? So wait after the double paper longer. Boom, boom, boom. Go for the double reset. Boom, right? 90%. He won't white out because what we're doing after the double paper is waiting longer to hit him. When we wait longer to hit him, it resets his like hit count, I guess, and he won't white out. However, because we're waiting longer to hit him, the opponent should be able to clearly see that he can guard. So be very careful when we do that. I'll try my best and land it in some gameplay, maybe show you guys, but it won't do that. So I guess my advice is try not to go for it. Alright guys, now if we're doing some awakening combos here, if we're just going for damage here, do the basic combos. You know, the paper resets are nice and stuff, but they're pretty much the same damage as something like this, where you just do scissors, rock, Toguro, catches, scissor, rock, and if they're near a wall, I didn't do it there, it's gonna miss, but you can ult after, but I don't recommend ulting after that because it's just gonna go to 90%. So I guess this is a perfect time to show you what I do to actually, instead of using double scissors to land ultimate. So, starts out the same way. When I get here, this is what I gotta do. I'm gonna go to the side in scissors and then rock, right? He'll kind of get stuck on Toguro and slash the wall, and we can land it after rock. Now, if you're too scared to do that, go ahead and just double scissor and then just ult. But as you can see, the damage reduction is gonna hit hard, and it's gonna stop at 90% here. And we lose Gone, right? Which is still good. Of course, we're not trying to go for 100%. He does have some. But that's what we're going to go for, guys. That's the basic 90% combo that you should be doing on Gone. Now, guys, if you do want more damage than 90%, there is a 99% combo I'm about to show you right here. So, again, same startup. We're going to do the paper reset. Waiting a second. Boom. Toguro. Dash up. Dash to the side. and rock. Or sorry, dash to side, scissor, rock. And this is a good 99%. Now, of course, remember the team average health is what dictates if it's 100 or something, so after this, I'll go ahead and show you 100%, but with the paper reset, it does do more damage, and it's something that you probably should go for. I think what am I trying to say? The first paper reset is worth going for. The double paper reset is, I don't really like it. So make sure you just go this way, where you just go boom, and then walk or hop up, and then wait a second, use rock. Alright guys, now the 100% does involve the double paper reset. Now, I'm not going to write it off as something you really shouldn't do, but I honestly think it's something you shouldn't do. But if you practice the timing and you pull it off, congrats. That was it right there, the timing. So just go into scissors, no need to do the paper reset there. And we got it. This should hit. Boom, kill, right? Now we're just doing overkill damage and making our opponent feel bad. But this does do 105%. So if you practice that double paper reset, you can go for the 100%. But, you know, guys, it's not something you should be, constantly going for. The regular damage from just the 90% combo is good enough, right? Alright guys, going into some Team Awakening stuff, he doesn't have any. If we do the instant transmission walk up Toguro ult, it doesn't work, right? It doesn't even reach, and if it did reach, we'd lose Gong and we wouldn't be able to follow up, right? So if we're gonna Team Awakening, do it off of 3 lights, probably have Ren activated. Now this one only works with a fully charged Awakening meter, so 3 lights, Team Awakening, have your assist hit, Toguro. Now as you can see, we landed a Toguro reset, so it's gonna do a little more damage than we needed it to be. But if we didn't land a Toguro reset, it would have done around 50%. I don't know actually how much this one does. This does, I think, around 60. Okay, 65. Oh, frick. Okay, no, that does 75% if you do the Toguro reset right there. Okay, so maybe do go for the Toguro reset. I was going to say don't go for it. But guys, remember, that only works if you have Ren and a fully charged Awakening meter. If we didn't have one, watch the Awakening meter. It's going to disappear right when Toguro hits the ground. So we're not going to be able to land scissors after it. So we just need to get the ult damage there and just hit it, right? So, boom. And it looks like we did the Toguro reset again. So that's 50% right there. Okay guys, just a quick tip on your neutral play. I'm sorry, the guide's a lot longer than I thought it would be. I think I talked too much just in general. I tend to do that. So when you're in neutral play here, what I do is 3 lights, rock, right? And then I wait till the cutscene happens for rock and then call on Toguro. So as the cutscene's happening, I'm holding the assist button down. So that is okay to do when you're facing a wall, right? When you're hitting the wall, they'll hit the wall, Toguro will be able to catch up. But if you're facing open area and the connection is poor, now this is only with a bad connection. If I try and do it, Toguro will not be able to catch up, and he'll actually whiff, the opponent will hit the ground, and it won't be able to work. But as you can see, I'm in training, so the connection's perfect, right? So I guess you can still try and do this. However, if it's poor, you want to use rock and then call in Toguro, but as you can see, it can mess up. Usually it does not mess up like that. I think it's very, yeah, it should do something more like that, and you can walk up and rock or scissors again. Just a quick tip, guys. You can gauge how poor of connection you have with your opponent is if you do this and Toguro does not come out and land, right? So be careful with that. Also, another quick tip, if at any point you land a charged up tilt, go ahead and jump, just because. Hit your opponent before they land on the ground, and then you can use Drawn Pen. So the reason why I tell you guys to jump, because they might escape as you're jumping, and you can chase them while you're in the air. Don't worry, you can go ahead and dash like that. But other thing, make sure you jump, try and bait it out. If they don't do anything, hit them before they hit the ground. As you can see, I did not hit them fast enough. So, boom. They'll fall right in front of you, and if you want, you can Toguro. Boom. Land a second rock. So, anytime, just a quick tip if you land a fully charged up tilt. Alright guys, probably the most important part about the guide, and I completely forgot. I'm sorry, I think I'm just a little out of it after Thanksgiving, just a little tired from all the food. So, when we go into this stance, clearly if they have stamina, they're going to escape or let it happen. That's the only 2 options they have, right? So if they let it happen, of course, you know, they let it happen. But in our minds, we might be thinking, oh, they're going to escape. I'm not going to do it yet. And they're safe now because we let it happen. So we're gonna use the ability canceling tech and pretty much, you know, catch them if they escape. So if they escape right here, we can just chase, right? We can just chase. They escaped, and they might be guarding or they might not, and we can do whatever we need to do, right? If they don't escape, right? If they just let it happen, I could just walk up and try and time it perfectly. I didn't time it right there. So they're not going to escape. They're calling our bluff. I just have to wait a second and do that. They can sidestep it, but hey, they might not react fast enough. Now, there is a sweet spot on Gon's ability, which sucks when they can escape perfectly and we can't do anything about it, right? So it's roughly about right here when he says Ken. Pretty much when we can like fire it. So right here is when he can escape, like right before we shoot, and we can't chase after that. The game will not let us chase after that. So what we can do is if they're waiting too long, like if we wait this long, guard and then dash, it should chase. Pretty much it's a literal game of rock, paper, scissors, like literally, if we're gonna rock right here or if we're gonna chase. And I kind of find it fun. It is pretty fun. But it's something that you will have to get better at, so play a lot of quick play matches. You have to understand your opponent, like I said earlier, you're going to have to be better at reading your opponent, and all I can say is just practice that, guys. Of course, now guys, if you do want to grab ult, you can, and what I love to do is most people will dodge after this, right? And then we can cancel the ultimate, dash after them, and go into our mix-ups, or if they aren't guarding, we can just start grabbing, or start hitting them, right? So be careful though, because if they let it hit, and you're raw ulting, you'll lose Gon, right? So just be careful with that. And I think I'm trying to think of anything we need to talk about. Guys, I know this is probably like our longest guide ever, and I'm sorry for that, but I do need to show you this gameplay to show you how feared or how scary Gon actually is. So clearly I'm up against probably not someone who's super great, but they're gonna definitely cheese me in the beginning here. You're gonna see this in a second. Uses the guard ability, which is actually really smart. Never thought about that. And they go into the dark end cheese, which is okay, right? So I'm basically showing you this footage because one, it's a cheesy CAC that you'll probably go up against in rank. So me getting hit with it, I generally don't want to. I don't really want to fight back at this point. I'm already very low. I have my fully charged awakening, and I really don't want to give her any meter or ult to basically do it to me again. So what I'm actually doing is just letting her hit me, letting her kill me. I will say though, right here, I did guard, and it still hit me, so I was a little confused about that. But she'll perfect me right here, and don't worry, I get my revenge in this next round here. So let me show you just how scary Gon is, and because she is using a CAC and Bakugo, health pool's very low. We're about to make her day just so great. So as you can see, Ren does have a little bit of hyper armor, but don't trust that hyper armor, you can get hit. So she escapes right here, I do an air light and I'm plus on it, so I get 3 lights off, and I go into the normal scissor rock combo, right? Toguro, I dash up, Drunken, dash to the side, scissor, rock, and ult. She is clearly dead no matter what. She cannot get out of it. I'm pretty sure she cannot even fully awaken red bar out of it, so clearly guys, we technically 100%'d her right here. Just because they have such low health bars. Now the rest of the footage is gonna play, but or maybe I'll just cut to some points that actually matter here. I guess what I'm trying to say for your sake, if you're trying to ever guard break someone, or if they escape and you're trying to catch up to them and like you can't chase them, I recommend the down tilt. I'll go ahead and play the footage of me guard breaking with the down tilt here because it is so great. Some people like don't understand how annoying the actual down tilt is because the last part of it, even if you don't get hit by the first like 3 hits of the down tilt, the last little tick of it can still guard break you, and you can see it right here. So guys, that's actually going to be it for the guide. I'm so sorry it's so long. I don't understand how it became so long. I think I just talked too much, and I'll try to work on that, but definitely hit a like on this video, guys. It took a long time, so really appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end here. If you did, I'll definitely have timestamps in the pinned comment below with everything that you need to see. And hopefully you all had an awesome Thanksgiving. It's the weekend for those of you. Almost, it's Friday. And have a great one. See you later.